What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today's video is obviously meant to be the office refurb. Not quite finished it yet, still things to do, so obviously that'll be in another upload. But today I'm going to be talking to you about sound design and how I implement it in my videos, and hopefully you guys can take something away from it. So yeah, let's do it. So first things first, I'm not an expert in this area. Doing video for only sort of 2.5 years now. It's only 6 to 8 months that I've actually been properly looking into the sound design aspects of videos. But I thought it'd be pretty cool just to go through a few things today, show you what sort of sound effects I use, where I get them from, and just show you generally how I implement sound design in my videos. So obviously the first factor of any video is obviously the music backing soundtrack. I don't think that many people actually sit down and look at the sort of projects that they're actually doing and film they're actually trying to make, and pick something that sort of goes with that. A lot of people just probably sit there, listen to something, yeah, that sounds cool, chuck it in. Been really trying over the last 6 to 8 months to think about sort of how I want the viewer to feel when watching sort of my stuff. YouTube videos, stuff like this, it's a bit different. You can probably throw in any cool sort of upbeat track, but I'm more talking about sort of the in-depth, the travel sort of stuff that I've done, short film sort of things. So at the moment I currently get all of my music from Artlist. A few months ago, probably quite a few months ago actually, James Matthews put a video out about where he gets his music from, and part of that he threw out a free month when signing up for a year subscription. So I jumped onto the website, scrolled through, had a little look at the music and sort of the artists on there, immediately fell in love with sort of 4 or 5 peoples and their music. So bang, signed myself up. Cheers, James. And yeah, I've been using them ever since. So what I like to do is go to the Artlist website. I sift through all the genres, mood, and sort of the type of music that I actually want in my video, and I'll just let it play. I don't sit there for hours. I used to sit there for hours, scrolling through, listening to one track after another, but it does get so frustrating and annoying. I find it the hardest part of filmmaking. Yeah, so I just let it play in the background. 9 times out of 10, something that will just catch your ear. Go back, save it in your collections folder. I have 3 folders running. I have one for travel sort of stuff. One what I call epic is I'm not really sure, but you know when you listen to something that just sounds epic. And I'll have one for vlogs. So obviously the music track in your video I feel is the most important aspect of any video. Always try and find music based on a feeling that you want your viewer to feel when watching. In the example I'm going to use is my Wales video. There was a lot of drone shots, a lot of sort of up the mountain, above the clouds, sort of waterfall shots. Stuff that I wanted to feel energetic, powerful, but yet I want the viewer to have sort of an adrenaline feel running through them when watching it, just as though they were there themselves. Kind of feeling that you get when your hairs stand up on the back of your neck, you know, when you're watching something. So that's what I was going for with that video. I found a song actually called Daydreaming, which was a perfect fit. The only problem with it was about 6 to 7 minutes long, and the actual start of it was really soft and slow. It was only till it got to around sort of minute 5 and 6 that it actually sort of ramped up into a beat that was suited to the video. So I think I spent around 2 hours chopping this track up, moving bits from the beginning to the end of the video, or moving things from the back of the song to the beginning of the video, just so it suits. But yeah, that is the biggest tip that I've taken away from anything over the last 6 to 8 months when properly looking at sound design, is just to spend that little bit more time making that music track fit. Just because obviously the song sounds like it doesn't fit, spend that time chopping it up and making it suit you and your video. So onto the actual sound effects themselves. Obviously I split these into 2 groups. I split these into ambience and the actual sound effects themselves. Ambience obviously being anything that's happening in the background of your video, so be it sort of wind, rain, obviously water, waves. You've got scenes with a lot of water in, you've got waves crashing in the background, that sort of thing. And then obviously the second part being the sound effect themselves, sort of whooshes, rises, hits, undertones, stuff like that, of ambient sounds. Over the years I've just built a collection of them and stored them on a hard drive. You can get them from most places. There's some free websites online. Most of the time that I'm getting them from is actual YouTube themselves. Obviously make sure they're royalty free, but there's loads and loads of videos of people posting out there of sound effects, ambient sound effects, and all I do is just use a website called savefromthenet.com and post a link into the website. It downloads an MP3 version of the actual YouTube video itself, import that into your project, cut the sound effects out that you want, and once they're cut up I just save them into a hard drive, into a separate folder, keep them all nice and tidy. For the sound effects themselves, I actually brought a pack from Lens Distortions when they had a sale on. I can't remember which pack that I've got. Let's have a look. So I use a pack from Lens Distortions called Statement. It's actually split into 6 categories, one being rises, second hits, whooshes, accents, undertones and moments. Absolutely love this pack. There must be hundreds of sound effects. The good thing I like about these packs are, as you go into risers, it's actually split into like 3 different sort of type of sound. That being like distortion, which is quite sort of harsh and epic. One silk, which is sort of like a bit more gentle, and then space, which is obviously the same sound effects, but obviously it just sounds like it's from space, I suppose. Yeah, so I absolutely love these packs, use them all the time. So other than that, I'll just have a collection of sound effects that I've actually built up over time from downloading from the internet and various other places. So the next part of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out 30 seconds of the Wales video, chuck it in a timeline so you can see how I built up the layers in the audio part. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable the music track and then disable the 2 halves, ambience and the sound effects themselves, just so you can see the sort of things that go into the video. I like throwing things in there that have no relevance to the scene, get pretty creative with it, which you'll see in a minute. I've disabled the music track and disabled anything sound effect, whooshes, rises, etc. related, and what I'll do is I'll just play this through and 10 seconds at a time and then pause and explain what's in there and why I put it in there. So let's play it. How are you feeling? Tired? Starting to hit rocky ground now. So obviously you see us walking up the mountain for starters, so I chucked in a little heartbeat, breathing in the background, heavy breathing, just to sort of emphasise us obviously knackered and climbing up a mountain at 2 o'clock in the morning. You'll also see on there obviously the writing coming up, sort of typewriter script, so I chucked in a little bit of a typewriter sound effect behind on that. So on to the next 10 seconds. So obviously you see we went into a sort of time lapse once we got to the top of the mountain for sunrise, into a shot of the birds flying around, so I've had sort of bird sounds. One thing you notice when I said about being creative and chucking things in there you probably wouldn't notice or probably wouldn't have been at the time is I've chucked a sound of thunder in there while the time lapse was going along, just to, I don't know, just sort of emphasise on the clouds whizzing past and stuff like that. But yeah, doesn't relate to the video at all, but I think it sounds pretty good and sort of goes with it. Then sort of like an undertone in the background like I put in, just like a dreamy sort of like undertone going on there. Last 10 seconds. Yeah, so that was basically the video with obviously only the ambient sort of stuff running through it. So now if I just chuck up the whooshes and anything rises and stuff like that. So what I'll do is I won't stop every 10 seconds, I'll just let the whole video play for 30 seconds so you can hear what's in there. How are you feeling? Tired? Starting to hit rocky ground now. guys, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you can take something from the video and learn something from it. Do spend the time on the sound design side of things, because it really does make a difference in your videos. I better get back to this office refurb, so I've got something to show you in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Tired. Starting to hit